Yeah. I think the question this game will mainly come from that early game, where you've got Renekton, Nidalee, Jace as your top side up against Cassante, Malkin, LeBlanc. Level 1, Nidalee does match the flash. Pretty common out of Nautilus to do this now. But yeah, it feels like the West Point top side, at least early game, is a lot stronger. But they're going to have to get stuff done because they definitely get outscaled. West Point, they're going to try to trade a ward onto the red. I kind of doubt that we'd see any sort of split map. It doesn't feel like anyone's really strong enough at level 1. And it is the Electrocute picked up by the Nidalee. I think a lot of them do go Conqueror, but I think maybe with the Renekton, just having more burst could be the play.
Yeah, now do you think there is any real kill threat onto this Cassante?
I wouldn't think so unless the Kai trades badly. But I mean, maybe Nidalee can use the Prior for something. It's hard. I like what Kongye is doing. You know, starting on this side kind of means that Nidalee is going to have to play towards him in the bot side if she wants to invade. But she might be able to. I mean, Zeri's not particularly strong early. And there is a ward on the red. Mid Prior could be pretty important. I do think LeBlanc gets that Prior, so most likely will be able to defend anything. And I think if it does kind of come down to just full clear versus full clear, I mean, you're very, very happy with that as Kongye.
Yeah, definitely. Really, 665, it's important he finds agency here, as trade's already coming out bot. Betty taking a substantial amount of damage. Char being knighted up does have flash available, whereas Curious does not. Will be able to back out, pop both those health potions, and get himself fairly healthy again in the near future.
Decent pickup, though. Oh, level 2 first.
Level 2 Curious will land that hook there, and it looks like Char might be going down, although they managed to get level 2 in time. Getting that health up, as well as that dismount going backwards with the shield, means that he is going to stay safe, but it is more damage onto him, especially now that he's lost those health pots. Is quite meaningful.
It is meaningful, I think, especially because with mid and bot pro, Kongye is never going to get invaded on this bot side, and I don't think Nidalee is going to be able to make anything happen down here either. They're kind of expecting to play around the Renekton more, but the Cassante on top, it's not the easiest champ to gank. Nice little trade. It comes out of 1116 there. Now, I'm mainly now looking towards what 665's plan is going to be, because very often you see, you know, Nidalee either go for an invade or some kind of 3-camp gank, but looks like it will just be matched full clears, and you can't really use Nidalee's tempo advantage in that case. Looks like Relia proxied that wave and is just going to go for a nice cheater recall here. There is a ward in that river, so most likely 665 will get spotted out.
Here is.
They're going for it,
Yeah,
though.
going to get rooted up. This could be first blood going over to Prage. It looks like it will be. In fact, actually, Char picks it up as Betty rides that wall back to safety, realizing he was in danger if he was to try and do anything else. So first blood here for West Point, keeping their playoff dreams alive. Does go over to Char on the rel, but still important tempo nonetheless.
I wonder, I feel like Beyond might actually be ahead out of that. I know it's crazy, but Prage is the one that has to reset here. And Betty's not going to lose anything in the meantime. I mean, I guess the assist goal makes up for it, but I think all things considered is basically even. Let's see what happened to Karaz. So he hooks forward, overcommits, and then I believe level 3, was it even hit here? I'm not sure it was. No, this was just the level 2 rel that goes in. So first blood goes over to Char. I'm mainly looking at the AD items here because reset has already come in for Prage, and you can see Betty's going to base with probably more gold. So it's going to be up to Char to get advantage out of this, because otherwise Betty actually has the better base. Prage lost a lot of health in that trade. Let's see what he picks up. Okay, he picks up the carrot. So, yeah. Oh, tier 2 birds. All right, so Betty is definitely ahead as long as Prage can't get another reset off. Now, there is that gold on Char. Thing is, though, supports often can't use this gold that well early unless they can buy the tier 2 boots, and they could not here for Char. So I think I's still on the bot lane. It's going to be interesting. I mean, the gold lead certainly reads in West Point's favor.
Nully has to be careful. There was a Hex flash in mid. Looks like Nully was able to dodge out of the hook at least, while stunned up by that chain coming out of 1116's LeBlanc.
Both supports did show their faces mid. Now pings back onto bot side.
Okay.
Wave is...
Prage feeling comfortable.
Fine. Betty's actually going to be ahead a lot of CS. I mean, he's already up 5, and he's got this big wave to collect as well. I think you're very happy, all things considered.
Relia went for Cull, by the way.
Interesting. Guess feels like just not much going to be happening. You do wonder, because even if it's a good choice on paper, kind of feels like you don't want to go the scaling distance against this team.
I feel like you just want to get to that Rift Shield and have as much power as possible, and there's no way you complete Cull by the time you hit that 8-minute mark. It does feel... Yeah, I'm not sure. I really do think you probably just want as much power as possible to try and fight around those top lane objectives, especially considering you do have that Nidalee, which, I mean, traditionally has been one of the strongest Renekton pairings in the game. Maybe arguable that fairly similar to the Taliyah.
Pings onto mid. Feels bad because 665 has all this tempo and he wants to do stuff with it, but where can you gank? I mean, ganking on LeBlanc is very, very hard. It's going to try, though.
Yeah. Forces out the distortion.
I believe 665 was actually spotted on vision there.
Going bot side now. Betty actually getting poked out.
Nili's on his way bot. Betty might be in trouble. He did lose a lot of HP there. And this could equalize up the CS if Betty is forced to base. He's going to try stay, though. There are no TPs for Beyond. So this is just... They're going to have to defend the dive. There are 3 sums available, though.
Oh,
Spear misses.
Yeah,
Kongwei's on the way.
They're going forward. Are they going to be able to find onto Betty? Betty does have both sums available. He's getting pretty low. He does flash away, and with that, 665 and the rest of West Point should be trying to get out, but Kongwei flashes forward, will land that twisted advance. Another fight will break out. Char likely to go down first. Ignite ticking. 1116 does manage to find the kill as 665 gets taken out as well. That's Prage. He's the last one here on the hit list. Does get taken out. It's a double kill here for 1116 on this LeBlanc.
Disastrous there for West Point. Unfortunately, just bite off a bit more than they can chew. And you've got to kind of question a little bit of the Nidalee pick. If this is the sort of stuff you're looking for, you know, dives around bot, they're a much better chance for doing this.
At least.
Yeah. And I mean, you did kind of, I guess, go for it opportunistically, right? You're not really playing around the fact that bot was getting chunked out, but at the same time, the Nidalee hasn't really found any proactive plays, and it has just been looking for opportunities. And the opportunity, I don't know, they looked... It feels like unless a spear lands, there's just not going to be anything here. The problem is that Betty having all sums is just not really a target. Ooh, and that, I don't know, the point blank spear, I mean, maybe it's better just to kind of force out the flash and then try chase with the spear.
Trades up top. We see it in the picture-in-picture. Rally getting very, very low. Will survive, though.
Yeah, and the flash coming out of 1116, getting him 2 kills is really, really important because LeBlanc kind of only good in the 1v1 until you pick up the Shiv, and that's when you can at least start to skirmish. But getting 2 kills before that, really just coming in and last hitting them, couldn't be happier. He's got a full Shiv now at 8 minutes. I'm still not sure if they win around the Herald. They did get the Renekton ult out, which is a pretty big win. Obviously a very key cooldown for that Rift Herald fight.
Yeah, I think still, though, West Point not really out of the game. Even though 1116 obviously is now accelerated, you do have to feel like there's so much uncertainty around the LeBlanc's fight. Obviously is breaking out here. Featherstorm was used. It's traded with both of these ults for Beyond. Char, not even being 6, will have his Magnet Storm as soon as that level is reached. 665 in the area, though.
Yeah, I think they might be aware.
Yeah, I wonder if he was spotted there on that Scuttle Crab. 665 still hunting, though. Spear will go wide. And now they'll just be trying to play for this vision round here. As you see on the top side of your screen, top side of the minimap, shall I say, Kongwei starting up that Rift Herald.
Yeah, wow, they're going to get Rift Herald with LeBlanc, Malachi, Cassante top side, which is pretty impressive. All Beyond really need to do on the bot side is make sure they survive. And West Point, they're going towards the Dragon, which I think might be a mistake. I feel like, I don't know, Dragon win condition would be nice. At the same time, I think you need this game to be faster than it is right now. I think taking away the red buff and maybe playing to deny gold on bot would have been better. Instead, though, they opt for the trade, and I don't think it's a trade that's good for them.
Is in level 6 still, very importantly. Betty will be stunned up. Char picks himself up a second of the game. It is 1116, though, who picks up his 3rd there, managing to last hit 665 as he flashed over the wall.
I think he got crit.
That's gross.
Nuli is actually in trouble here. There is a red buff for 1116. A lot of damage, but 3 kills to him. It was nice that they managed to get another one on Betty. That'll kind of help the bot side, but you're really not happy with how the Renekton and the Nidalee are panning out. I mean, Nidalee's behind, and Renekton has not achieved anything in top side. You've got 1 plate, but no herald or anything to your name.
I wonder how much of that is the... I mean, Relia hasn't recalled, and who knows how long.
Yeah.
Is he trying to just finish? He bought the cull and he's like, right, I'm in lane until it's done. Because it kind of feels like it, and it feels like that's exactly how you're not supposed to play against the Cassante. Really wanting to pressure him out early, especially when you have so much AD on your team. He will be... Oh, really? Going wide there. But as I was saying, Lakai will eventually just have so much armor where it's so difficult to deal with the Cassante.
You're right, and I think, you know, especially getting ganked at level 6 or whatever and using that ult, that's just so important, because I think picking Renekton almost always these days guarantees you the first Herald. Oh, on the bot side though, Betty, he's already used dash.
Will not manage to get the dash over the wall, and it's going to be 6x5. His third attempt down here in the bot side will eventuate in him finding a kill there on to Betty. And then importantly, the first kill of the game for West Point that isn't on to Char on the Rel. That feels pretty good. Now, a couple of tower plates will be going over. It'll be shared between Kongyue and 1116.
Looks like Betty just got a bit greedy on the bot side here. Doesn't have the ward, also doesn't have his support around, was ghosted on. And he dashed pretty poorly, honestly. And was taken out. And I think that's a big win, although 665 might have given it right back. As he ends up going down to Kongyue. Now, it was a fair amount of gold on the bot tower picked up by Prage, which I think definitely can't be ignored. But despite picking up the kill there for 665, giving it straight back over to Kongyue, feels like you're still well and truly behind. Okay, Cull he's completed. He got it.
And, I mean, maybe he just has to clear out. I mean, this is a problem, as you've now completed it, but it's so hard for you to find a recall timing.
How annoying is that?
He is going to get locked up. He's locked up for a long, long time, and Kongyue finding himself a third. He's on a killing spree. 3-0-2 to match his mid laner.
Just play safe mid.
Yeah.
Okay, Betty's in trouble again. Has the flash this time, but so does Char.
Okay, that is flash trade. Now, feels pretty good there if you are West Point. Again, Betty going to be vulnerable.
Let's see what happened to 665. I think it was just caught overstaying in this jungle.
Depth charge. A lot of point and click lockdown here, which is honestly one of the worst things to play against as Nidalee. Still, you know, again, have to beg the question, what was the purpose of the Nidalee in this game?
Yeah, it really isn't finding what it needs. And I mean, it is harder, especially given the mid-prior now, with LeBlanc being this far ahead. Obviously, mid-priority is very important when you're playing the Nidalee. But part of that you have to wonder is about kind of how that first clear in the early game went. Just not really finding leads anywhere.
I think something that's pretty important here, as we come 1 minute away from this dragon respawning, is that Rallia was able to finish the entire Gore Drinker. So we'll have quite a bit of power as he heads down to this dragon. And although, yes, you have the Frozen Gauntlet on the Cassante, you feel like, especially at this stage of the game, the impact of Renekton can find in teamfights should be a fairly significant amount higher than that of the Cassante.
We'll see. I feel like Cassante might have already outscaled, honestly. First mid tower will go down. I feel bad for Noli because it doesn't really feel like he's done anything too wrong. But unfortunately, 1116 has just picked up so many random kills. Really just comes down and last hits them. And with the Shiv, it just makes it all too easy to siege. Betty, no flash.
Again. He doesn't have flash, has the cleanse. Is going to pop the ult for the extra movement speed. And it's going to be flash forward and the goes here for Prage. Betty's locked up, he cleanses. But it's another kill found here onto that 80 carry of Beyond. Betty really finding himself to be a bit of a lost con at this point of the game. 20 seconds away from the dragon. Kira's hook very narrowly misses. 665 will remain safe. And now maybe with this 80 carry dead for Beyond, do West Point try and pressure around the dragon? I mean, even with that 0 dead, there is still 2-3-0-2 AP threats. And the Maokai, no slouch. Look how much damage he's going to be doing with the sapling along with the demonic embrace.
Beyond, they're the ones starting this up. I mean, they got picked and they still feel like they can do it. Betty is late on the map here, but 3v4.
You have to be careful.
Oh,
Kongyue flashes forward. There is phase rush available for Kongyue. I mean, sorry, Noli. He does get away, and the acceleration gate will secure his safety. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Char being locked up. That depth charge will ensure the kill goes over. It's a fourth one now found here for 1116 on that LeBlanc. And with top lanes not involved, it is just going to be the 3v5 eventuating in a kill and the dragon here for Beyond.
Pretty crazy, really. This is the scaling comp that's up a significant amount of gold here and giving over all these early objectives as a team with a Nidalee Renekton feels very strange. Now, do they have the opportunity to get them? Now, it doesn't really feel like it. Another tower picked up. 1116 must have so much gold. He's been the beneficiary now of 2 destroyed turrets. He's gotten these 4 kills, obviously, and the assists. Would love to see player gold. Feels like he's so far ahead.
Div charge not available, but Lakai's in the area, does have all out. Hook goes wide. The knockback here from Lakai. Flash away, he goes 665. But he doesn't have any summoners now. As Rally comes in, Dominus popped. It's 4v3, 4v4 and 4v5 now comes in as Nuli a little bit late there on the wrong side of the team fight. It is a 1-0 thus far, but Chaff the Magnetstorm and Nuli coming over will find themselves back at least 1 kill. So far, 1-4-2 in favor of Beyond, but Betty getting super low. Gonna have to dash away. Kira's hook will land here onto Relia as Kongwei twisted advance into the tower, finds himself one, but it's gonna be a triple kill here for 1116. Nuli turning around himself, able to find another kill there. But he's being pressured. There's so much damage that can come through on this LeBlanc, and Nuli's trying to do what he can. He might be able to trade one back onto Kira's. In fact, he does. But all things said and done, it's going to be a 5-for-2 here as Betty makes work towards this Rift Herald, and it is going in favor of Beyond.
It's going well in favor of Beyond. Now an 8-0 LeBlanc. And the worst part, the thing is, this Shiv build, its biggest weakness is these early game skirmishes. So getting this far accelerated and having your items just this early completely negates that weakness. And now, you don't really have a weakness at all. We'll see how this ended up starting. So the Kai, he goes over the wall. Feels like it might have been a bit early, but he manages to keep 665 here and almost bait the rest of West Point into coming forward. Fresh off a base here, TP's in 1116. Does barely manage to miss out on the 665 kill, but there's no one here really to pressure him, and he's already 4-0 at this point, now 5-0. Just has so many more items than anyone else does in this fight, as well as he's level 12. Ooh. Only matched here by Relia.
Probably just Feather Storm. Tried to find Betty.
Yep. Just feels a bit wallet gapped at the moment. Medjai's picked up for the LeBlanc. I love it. Now, Nuli got some kills.
Yeah, and it was a shutdown as well onto Kongwei. He picked up 600 gold shutdown there on that one, so that feels pretty nice.
Relia is very lucky that Shane missed. No MR or tenacity really to speak of. Might have it in the runes, but...
Now that was interactive.
It's going to be hard. I mean, especially with the LeBlanc this far ahead. She's also going to be able to CS everything.
Ooh, I think one thing that's intelligent, if this is what's happening, it could still be a Stair Axe, but if Hullbreaker comes through here from Relia, I actually think that might be a pretty good item. Because you are just going to have to match this LeBlanc all game. Being able to buff up one minion as well as take less damage from the poke might actually be a difference maker. We'll see though.
Herald gets dropped on mid. Tower will live with a sliver of HP, but the top tower is being worked on as well. Saplings here. Deal a little bit of poke damage, but not going to be enough to deter Char from walking in. And maybe now looking at Kongwei, but I don't think this is the target you want.
Yeah, going to find the Magnetstorm. It's a pretty big lockup, and Praise using that Featherstorm again, trying to be aggressive with it, but it's going to be Kieran who picks up 1 kill. Betty finding his first of the game, and then continuing forward. Flash forward does Betty. First time he's been able to use that aggressively. And now it's Relia trying to find something. He gets a lot of healing done, but ultimately it's a little bit too little too late. Or is it? Relia still staying alive here. Ultimately, though, it does go down. It's a 5-0 in favor of Beyond. And with that, it's starting to feel like the chances of playoffs here for West Point are slipping away.
Does feel like they're long gone by now. And take a look at the mid lane gold difference. It's pretty absurd there. And also, he's almost 6k gold ahead of the Nidalee, which is pretty insane. Because remember, that's a champ that kind of needs to snowball early and didn't find it whatsoever. They look on Okongwei here, and the problem with picking the Maokai is even if you do manage to kill him, as long as he gets all his cooldowns off, they'll still win the fight after, and they don't have enough damage to deal even that. Okongwei with the flash away keeps himself alive, and you can see how much damage has already been dealt. Collapsed on from all angles really here was West Point. Nowhere to go. Betty, I feel like this was a bit of a rage flash forward. He just wants to get involved, and he's probably upset he's been targeted all game long, but hey, it worked out. More kills here for 1116. Back to live. And you do feel bad for West Point because you know this is where they're trying to find some way back into the game because their playoff streams really rest on this game. But realistically, being this far behind, there isn't much chance. And Nuli, I think he's just dead to rights, really.
Yeah, should definitely be going down. Nature's Grasp will likely confirm it. If not, Kongwei will certainly do so after. In fact, it does. Makai, though, having to flash away after using that all out.
And are they just going to Desperation Baron? I don't think they can, but...
Yeah, 116 has teleport. It is okay to just hit away at these towers. And look how much damage he's doing. Absolutely destroying them. Having picked up that blue pot, have entire usage of that Lich Bane. Towers are just melting. Betty getting to work now on that mid lane inhib as well. And what can you do as West Point? Feels like Jace Poke isn't going to be doing enough at this stage of the game to matter. Prage, he doesn't have the items he needs to be able to put up the damage. And 116 just with straight auto attacks, almost eliminating the AD carry here of West Point.
Yeah, there really is not much they can do here. Too mobile, too much damage. Picks up an inhib at only 21 minutes. Didn't even need a Baron or a Herald to do it. Second one is being sieged already, and the lifesteal is so far away. All this poke is going to land in a big way. No, he trades some back. But I think either way, that inhib is pretty much a foregone conclusion. There's TP for 1116 as well, and he's going to base. I wonder, are they just going to try break all three without a Baron? Actually,
looks like it.
There really isn't much wave clear, at least not yet.
Yeah, looks like we might be seeing a final fight coming up soon. Get some poke done by this LeBlanc, and you can certainly look for it. And look at the damage on that.
That looks fun.
Yeah, all of West Point having to recall. This is going to be their third inhib going down. Beyond, do they opt to keep pushing? Feels like they could, but it also feels like they can just back off, start looking towards Baron. At least for now, they are sticking around.
They have the super minions coming. I think they can just play for the end.
Yeah, it does certainly feel like that, especially with the chunks coming through from this LeBlanc. 116 finding so much success. Rallier going to be stunned up, knocked up again, and knocked back, and he's dead. As now Prey trying to find some damage, but Betty pops that ult, and he's finding much damage by himself. Double kill now for 1116 on this LeBlanc as he keeps going forward. He finds a triple. Will we see a Penta coming through? It's looking like a Quadra. Oh, the flash away there for 665 denies it, but the Quadra does eventually come through, and he goes into the fountain. He gets taken out. He looks for it. It's going to be his first death of the game, but 13-1-4, a very respectable score and a fantastic performance to give Beyond a chance here to play for second, but West Point will now be eliminated from playoff contention.
Unfortunate there for West Point. I think they were pretty close to turning their season around, right? They started off extremely poorly, managed to pick up some wins against some of the